Franchi Affinity 3. If you're watching this video, you're probably familiar with the issue, but this is a Franchi Affinity 3. I bought it roughly 2019 for my daughter, 20 gauge. And there's an issue when you go to load it with the carrier latch. Right here, you see how difficult that is to slide into the magazine. So J. Kinney and Company sell an aftermarket carrier latch that's a two-piece where this is spring-loaded and it's much easier to reload. Doing one or two shells isn't an issue, but when you're doing 50 or 100 in a clay shoot or out dove hunting, it's difficult, especially for a teenager's fingers. It's bad enough with mine. So I went to the internet and found this offering from J. Kinney. It's a two-piece carrier latch. I did buy the additional carrier bolt release button aftermarket, just so everything would fit together well. And I'll pull these out of the package here in a second so that you can see it up close. This is a better view of the parts. Spring, the button that I purchased separately, which is Damascus steel. It comes with the screw. And then this is the piece, and you can see the latch here will have that spring installed once it's in the weapon. And it's supposed to make operation loading extremely easy. So J. Kinney has a tutorial on YouTube on how to install this, where you remove two of the pins, pull some of the components out of the shotgun. So I'm going to give that a try, and I'm going to do the best that I can to document it. Looks like the first step's to remove the barrel, so I'm going to do that. I apologize for the lighting. I was going to do it outside, but it's nasty weather outside, so I decided to do it inside the house, and the lighting in this room is not that great, so I'm cheating with a shop light. So we've removed the barrel. Now this should pull straight out. Let's see if I can. I might have to. All right, this piece does pull straight out. I wasn't sure, so kind of wedge your finger in there, and it'll pop out. So I have that pin released. Now that has come out, just straightforward. Now the next step will be to remove this pin, where we can take out the trigger mechanism. So I have a good set of punches I bought just for this project. Okay, so that pin did come out relatively easy. So I'm going to put this aside. So now let's see if this trigger group does come out as easy as they say. There you go. I might do me a little cleaning in there while I'm at it. But here is the latch. Hopefully you can see that we're going to ultimately replace. So now the next step is to remove this pin and take this button off. So I'm not sure if this is held on with a pin or some other method. So I'm going to try to see if it'll unscrew. Theoretically, I'm going to toss this afterwards. Looks like it broke, but maybe it did not. scar it, scratch it. See if this is doing anything. Appears to be coming. So let me continue to, hopefully I'm making progress. In the J. Kinney video, they just say remove the button, and that's it. But, oh, there you go. So that is it, with some, looks like thread lock on it. Huh, a little corrosion. All right. Set this aside. All right, we have that button removed, so it screws off. So we're ready now to remove this pin. So I have a 2-piece punch. I have a short punch. That I'll use to get it started. And then after that, I'll move. I have a longer punch. It is in there somewhat solid. It may be my base. Pin is moving. There you go. Okay, now I have a longer pin. Pin may have looked like it got off center a little. Yep, you can see it starting to come out right there. So that's what we want to see. And there we go. Here's the pin. Set that aside, and then there's this bolt with the spring, and we will reuse the spring. And then there we are. So this is the lip that was difficult. You can see where it's got wear from practice. And online you can see where there are some owners shaving this out to loosen the strength on this so it moves a little bit easier. I opted just to buy a full replacement part since I don't want to be out in the field and have the gun misfire, jam, or a piece break and puts us in a pickle. So now I'll get the other parts and see if we can get it back together. I do want to point out some differences between the original and the J. Kinney. The original looks like it's a forged, like a stamped piece of metal, maybe a little bit of machining on a few small areas. And the spring fits into this area here. The J. Kinney is like machined, CNC machined out of one piece of steel, and then they carved a pocket for the spring to slot into. So a little bit different design than what Franchi had. They also said to oil it. This is J. Kinney and Company. Oil all the surfaces, so I'm going to do that real quick. It'll get plenty of oil once I start cleaning the weapon, but I'll do it as instructions say. So I've got it oiled pretty good, and I'm about to reinsert it. All right, let's see what we have to do to get this carrier bolt put back in. Again, I apologize for the lighting. So I've got the spring just in the little machined out area for it. I'm going to put the bolt in. Where 3 hands would be great. But all right, there you go. And just kind of massage that back to make sure the spring's in a good spot. Hopefully you can see that. Now I just need some compressing the spring end in with my finger, my thumb, and now I'm just gonna get it to where I can see the holes are lining up. It's a little challenging. All right, there you go. So the pin goes in, I can see through, so that pin's gonna need a little tap. Hopefully it doesn't go too far in. Just a little. So you're going to need a pretty solid work surface would help. To get the pin to go. Well, I'm in the hole because now the piece is not. Okay, things. Sorry about the video bouncing. All right, that's got most of it. So now I just have to make sure I can push that pin in the rest of the way. I'll use a punch. Hopefully I hadn't flattened the end of this pin out. Yeah, it'd be easier with a gun vise. Okay, we have the pin in. I had to take it out to my shop and put it on a solid bench, and it just took one tap and it went right in like it was. Maybe it's recessed a 1/16 of an inch, but you can see the piece now works well. Hopefully you can see that. It's not on the vertical when it's all the way extended, but once I put in the trigger mechanism, I expect it to be more like that. Now, Jay Kinney was saying I may have to shave off some of the body of the weapon, the shotgun right here, to make clearance. If this spring that came with the unit hits that side, if it's all the way up, it will. It's making some contact, but when I lift it like the trigger body should do, it's a pretty clean movement. Now I'm just going to put on this Damascus bolt. I should put some thread lock on that. I might do that later, but let me get this on, see if I can get it on. It's not gonna, of course with the springs, I need 3 fingers, 3 hands. Let's see what I can do. Hopefully. See if I can get it. Hopefully you can. I don't know if it's threading. Yep, it's threading. There you go. Oh, is that it? I went ahead and cleaned this trigger body. Had a bunch of just gunk and residue up there. I wiped that pretty clean. So let's see what we can do here. I'm sure there's a trick to it. I just don't know what it is. That. All right, now I can see clearly straight through that hole. Let's see how hard this pin is to get in, if I got to get a hammer on it. Okay, well, that's gone in so far pretty easy. There you go. My fingers did it. That's amazing. All right, the trigger body went pretty straightforward. Let's see, I need to put the carrier bolt mechanism in. Yep, again, it would helpful to have 3 hands. All right. This just presses in. All right, that's in. There we go. Okay, we have that. Now let's see if we can get this barrel in. And there's a trick to it. I just don't remember what it was, or I thought there was a trick to it. Oh. There we go. That loaded, went back together pretty well. So let's see if we can load it next step. Okay, I did have a little issue once I got it all back together. Didn't have anything to do with the carrier latch. It was just cycling it through, working that little release button. But now it looks like it's loading fine. Whoops, get it all the way in. Let's see what we got here. Yep, seems to be loading fine. So I'm going to take it to the range to make sure it's working properly, but this seems to be doing pretty good so far. Yeah, that works good. I actually like having that leverage. That's a nice button. Anyway, it looks like it went in pretty much cleaner than I was expecting. So I'm going to go take it to the range today or tomorrow. How's that feel? A lot easier?
A lot easier.
Excellent. All right, let's see if it'll cycle. Perfect.